Right, so this is one of the scariest repairs I've ever attempted. This is a PROX 3770 ATX Pentium 4 motherboard that is not working. It was running in a video fruit machine and the game just went off. It literally just went off and then wouldn't start again, and they had a funny smell when they opened the cabinet. So we got the PC out and we got it apart, and I've actually had this for a few months, and testing it, anytime you try and start the power supply up, it goes off. It just won't start. The fan bloods for a second, then goes off. Unless you unplug the ATX line and then the PC power supply starts up, obviously the board's dead with no power to the processor. So I measured the resistance at the ATX port here, the ATX connector, and I had 3 ohms. So 3 ohms into 12 volt. The power supply is trying to put out 4 amps, which is enough to fry any power supply. So when I looked at it, all these electrolytics were blown open, every single one of them. So I've changed them. I cannot get them to solder a through hole into the board. It's a 4-layer motherboard, and my soldering iron, even at 450 degrees, just will not provide the heat to clear those holes out. And I don't have a 0.1mm drill, so 0.1 inch drill, sorry. So I've just tacked them on top. It's perfectly fine. They're nice and solid. They'll work. It's all good connections. I bust them all out. They're all making a good connection. There's nothing else I can do. I just don't have the firepower in my soldering iron to clear those holes out to get them through the hole. I don't want to damage the pads. So that didn't make a difference. Still had 3 ohms at the connector. So I buzzed all around and I traced it down to here. And these 2 transistors were hard shorted to ground. So it's very, very hard to see. I'll see if I can zoom in. Put the flash on. There's a 3 ohm resistor there going to one of them, and that's where the 3 ohms is coming from at this connector. They are hard shorted to ground. You can see there one of them melted its pads. It absolutely destroyed the pads in the motherboard, but it should be alright. There's enough meat there to tack onto. The other one came off clean. I've got them both off. And if I put you on pause for a second, just to get set up, you can hear there, the transistor dead shorted. It's hard shorted to ground. Now, we couldn't find replacement parts for this thing anywhere, because of a slight mistake we were making. We were searching for it based on the top number, but it's not the top number at all, it's the bottom number needed. So the transistor is a 6670 MOSFET, and this one lurking over here, where we'll find it. That one there, which is also hard shorted, is a 6035 MOSFET. I think one's an NPN, one's a PNP. They're forming the DC-DC converter on the motherboard for the ATX 12 volt. I think it's to knock that down to the 3 or 1.8 volts, whatever the processor needs. So, plan of action. I've got new ones ordered. Now I know what I'm looking for. I've got brand new ones ordered. Like I said, this is almost completely destroyed, but there is enough meat to solder onto, and that's going straight to ground anyway from here. This one's absolutely perfectly fine. So my plan of action, I've ordered a magnifying lamp to do this, because I need, well, this. I need this level of zoom I'm looking at now to even attempt this. I cannot attempt this with the naked eye. I could try it by putting my phone on a tripod. That might be a good interim, but I've got a magnifying lamp ordered with a 10 times lens. So I'll be able to see what I'm doing. Plan of action is to get the new ones on, heat this solder pad and slide it up into position, tack the legs on, and then heat the tab at 450 degrees. Bump the arm there right up to make sure this sticks down. Might have a bit of a problem sticking this one down, but we'll try it. And then I'll put capstan tape around everywhere except the top of the transistors, and I'll use hot air to seat them down. I might have a bit of a issue here. This pad here, not much less of it, but I can see where it's going. So with any luck, and it looks like it's only on, I could possibly just scratch this off and extend this pad out, but we'll see. Camera's very, very shaky on the phone and holding it with one hand. But anyways, it's going to take a couple of days to get the parts in, and then there's no guarantee it'll work because I don't know what other damage has been done here. I know I've changed this processor. I know the original processor was dead. This processor might now be dead because I don't know what voltage these shorted parts were trying to put out. I know, excuse me, I've got a bit of cold. I know that the power supply was shutting it down straight away, but in a split second it was powering up before it detected the fault and shut down. What voltage was going into that processor? We'll just need to wait and see. Right, new parts are here, and I've had to buy a magnifying lamp to get them on because this job's going to be bloody terrifying. It's going to be absolutely terrifying. I hate SMD stuff at the minute. So basically my plan is, what I'm going to do is put a wee bit of flux here, and that'll act like a sort of temporary adhesive to allow me to slide the transistor in position on those two pins. I'll tack this pin, and then I'll try and heat the solder here at a higher temperature to let the transistor bed down. And I'll repeat that with all three. I'll have to be very careful with this middle one because these traces are moved. They look ugly, but they'll work. This is all a ground plane here, or a power plane between these two transistors. They're both in parallel. And they have the middle leg, or the tab, they're tied together. I've checked it up here. They're tied together up here as well on the first stage. That's the first stage of the voltage regulator module. That's the second stage. The third transistor was blown out as well. Had to change it. I need to change it. I had to take it off. So hopefully this will go fairly smooth. It probably won't, but then I'll show you a couple of shots of it along the way. And I've got the hot air station ready for it as well, because once I've bedded these in, I'll put capstan tape all around these and then heat the bases, the tabs. Focus a bit. Heat the tabs with hot air and try and bed them down a bit better, and then we'll retest the resistance up here and see how we do. There it is. New 6035 transistor, and that goes here. Right, let's get some flux on this bit. And let's offer that in. So the minute I touched it, it moved, but I managed to seat it, and I got one leg on. Wish me luck for the others. Right, second one's on. Unfortunately, that loose pad, it came off. So I need to figure out something to do with that. I'll get it though. I'll get it. Just I'm working in my kitchen, as you know, and it's a typical family home, so the noise is left, right and centre, and you can't do much about it. And I basically slipped and tore that pad right there at that resistor. But it's a very, very small junction, so I should be able to do something with that. I can either beat a bit of solder over it or get a resistor wire and join it that way. I'll get it. I might even just take this resistor off and tack a 3.3 ohm resistor from there to there. That will work also. But we'll see, we'll see. Right, so on with that third one. Right, so it's a wee bit later on. I was about to take this apart and just, well, I was putting it back together and I was declaring it scrap because you can see the VRM down there. I've replaced those parts, but the board's that badly burnt that a small capacitor couldn't get back on. So I was going to declare it a no fix, but I took the RAM out and I accidentally bumped the power switch. Try to run. The bugger's trying to run. Yeah. How the hell am I going to get the board back out to clean that flux up? I'll be able to do it in situ, I think. I'll be able to do it in situ, but let me... This is dead, I think. Let me go get another RAM. My God, check this out. Swapped out the RAM. That booted. That bloody booted. So despite that little capacitor not being attachable, that VRM works. My God. My good God. Right, I suppose I better start putting the rest of the thing back together then. Right. The VRM area cleared up. Doesn't look pretty, but the board was burnt up pretty badly by the two old transistors that were in there. They absolutely destroyed the thing. But it seems to be working okay. I'm just starting to reassemble now. I've got the front cover off because it is a bit dirty. I think I'm going to clean that up a bit. But fresh RAM in. Sorted a construction error here. This screw was in that way, but it should be in this way. And I'm about to put the riser back on. Right, riser's installed. Put this here because this is a terrible... I put this tire up here because this is an absolutely terrible design. That just sits against this. That's not ideal. It's coming back together. Got to install the bracket for the power supply now, and then we'll tie all the unused cables out of the way. This thing's filthy. I'm going to give this a good scrub done too before I reinstall this. So this thing's terrible. I'm going to give this thing a bloody bath. Right, looking better. Still needs to be a wee bit cleaner in the back. I'll do that with alcohol, but it's looking a lot cleaner. And yes, I got the LEDs wet. It won't matter. I'll test them before I refit it. And they should be absolutely fine. They're sealed enough. And if any of them don't work, I'll just replace them. They're pennies. The thing was filthy. Coming together nicely, video cards back in. COM ports are back in. No nasty surprises at the minute. What I want to do now is test these connections here, because these are a wee bit torn up. Now if there's any bad ones, it's easy enough to get them replaced. They're just 10-way ribbon cables. But I've got the meter here, I've got the card out. So we'll test it end to end.
gonna have to go and find a CPU member, I think.
Grab the ends here, show them. Basically, these go off elsewhere in the cabinet when it's in the machine. Oh, I've dropped a bit of paper there, never mind. It's quite awkward to fit them in the PC because of the ribbon cables get tangled up, and you can see they're a wee bit torn up in the corner. But I think they'll be alright. But what I'll do is I'll get a resistor and I'll just put the resistor leg in each one of those holes, and then I'll check for continuity back here at the pads, and we'll see how it goes. Just checking them by putting a resistor leg in there and then measuring continuity from the leg to the contacts in the board, and they're all good. Right, it's all back together. Communications cards in, graphics cards in. Still waiting for the front to dry off. Probably still a lot of testing to do. I don't know how well the VRM down there is going to hold. Let's give it a crack. Ooh. It's actually booting. Now I need to get a keyboard onto it, I need to check the setup, and I check the hardware monitor in setup and make sure the voltages are alright, but this is a good sign. The game's coming up. Don't feel any heat or anything coming off that. Let's see. Please wait for the game to boot. 2005, I wonder what game it is. Still don't feel any heat. Well, there it goes. Ooh, push it up. Ooh. It's on. That's a very, very good sign. Very, very, very good sign. Right, so I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off. Let's get fast off now. Initial signs are good. I'm going to end this video here. I need to get myself a keyboard. I don't currently have one that'll fit this, but let me just unplug this in there. Unplug everything. Ugh. How hot did those get? They didn't get hot at all. The VRM didn't get hot. That's a very, very, very good sign. So, as you can see from thing, it's alive. We got lucky. Usually, when that voltage regulator module blows out, when anything blows out in the motherboard, it usually takes out other stuff besides just the part that failed. It looks in this instance that it took out the VRM and it took out the RAM with it. But it's it's working. And it's holding its settings as well on the BIOS because it's starting back up on last state. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, good. Turn it off now. So, like I say, we'll end that video here. I'll finish putting it back together. I'll get a keyboard on it and I'll, off camera, I'll measure, I'll watch the hardware monitor for the temperature and the voltage ratings, etc, etc. And hopefully this will go back to living in its machine soon. I'm never going to get that lucky again in my life, I don't think, with a repair. Anyways, I was saying that we've just went through the gal scenario, haven't we, with that Joker poker. Which, believe it or not, there's another poker board coming soon. What's going to be wrong with that one? Anyways, that is a PROX 3770 motherboard with a brand new VRM. Hopefully it'll keep working. It should do, the signs are good. Again, it's the first time I've ever done anything like this, and see you again soon. Bye bye for now.